Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, who is most beneficent and most merciful. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Wishing you a very happy and healthy morning. And welcome to all of you for lecture number 11 today. And today we are going to discuss the remaining parts of our unit number 2. And in these parts, our topics are for discussion exercise questions and collective nouns. And in English B, we are going to discuss the translation of paragraph number 2 and 3. Now see on screen, very first question of your exercise question is, when does Chinese New Year start? And we have read it in very first paragraph that Chinese New Year is never on the same day each year. हर साल चीनी साल नौ एक ही दिन नहीं होता, but typically falls somewhere between January 21st and February 20th. बल्कि ये हर साल 21 जनवरी और 20 फरवरी के दरमियान कहीं आता है. Now see question number 2 of your exercise questions. Why do Chinese families do thorough cleaning of their houses before New Year's Day? कि नए साल के दिन से पहले चीनी ख़ानदान अपने घर की सफाई मुकम्मल क्यों करते हैं? You know, the cleaning is done to clear the house of any bad luck from the previous year and to make it ready for the good luck of the coming year. कि घर की सफाई जो है वो इसलिए की जाती है कि पिछले साल की किसी भी बदकिस्मती को बाहर निकालने के लिए घर से और आने वाले साल की खुशकिस्मती के लिए तैयार करने के लिए ऐसा किया जाता है. Now see third one question. Which color is not allowed and which color is encouraged on Chinese New Year? Why? And we know that black color is not allowed on Chinese New Year because of its association with death. मौत से इसकी निस्बत की वजह से चीनी साल नौ पर ब्लैक रंग पहनने की इजाज़त जो नहीं होती. रेड कलर इज़ इनकरेज्ड, जबकि सुर्ख रंग पहनने की हौसला अफजाई की जाती है बिकॉज क्योंकि इट इज़ एसोसिएटेड विद वार्डिंग ऑफ बैड स्पिरिट्स, क्योंकि इसको बदरूहों के को भगाने के साथ मंसूब किया जाता है. Now it's your question number 4 of your exercise questions. What do decorations on doors and windows symbolize? खिड़कियों और दरवाज़ों पर जो अलामतें होती हैं, जो सजावटें की जाती हैं, वो किस चीज़ की अलामत होती हैं? The decorations on doors and windows symbolize luck and happiness. As we read in our lessons that Chinese are used to hang signs and posters on their windows and doors on which the Chinese word fu is written, which means luck and happiness. It means that the decorations on doors and windows symbolize luck and happiness. Now see your question number 5. What is the significance of New Year's Eve dinner? कि जो नए साल की शाम को इशाया दिया जाता है उसकी क्या अहमियत है? 8 or 9 dishes are presented in the New Year's Eve dinner. 8 या 9 खाने जो हैं वो इस साल नौ के शाम के इशाये में पेश किए जाते हैं. इन चाइनीज़ लैंग्वेज द वर्ड 8 मीन्स प्रॉस्पेरिटी. चीनी ज़ुबान में लफ्ज़ 8 का मतलब खुशहाली होता है एंड द वर्ड 9 मीन्स लॉन्ग लास्टिंग, और लफ्ज़ 9 का मतलब देर पा होता है. द डिनर इज़ ऑल्सो अ गुड ओकेजन फॉर द फैमिली मेम्बर्स टू गेट टुगेदर. इसके अलावा ये इशाया जो होता है वो ख़ानदान के अफराद के इकट्ठा होने के लिए एक बेहतरीन मौका होता है. Now see your question number 6. What do the little red envelopes filled with money symbolize? रकम से भरे हुए सुर्ख रंग के लिफाफे किस चीज़ की अलामत होते हैं? It is also a tradition in China that adults are used to present little red envelopes filled with money to the youngers. The little red envelopes filled with money symbolize wealth and prosperity for the coming year. It is the 7th and last question of your exercise questions. What is the importance of Chinese New Year for Chinese families? चीनी ख़ानदानों के लिए चीनी साल नौ की क्या अहमियत होती है? Chinese believe that New Year is a time. चीनियों का ये अकीदा है कि नया साल, ये साल नो एक ऐसा वक्त होता है when the family should come together in order to give thanks for the year that has passed, कि जब ख़ानदान वालों को गुज़िश्ता साल का शुक्र अदा करने के लिए and reinvigorate themselves for the coming year, और ख़ुद को आने वाले साल के लिए तवानाई देने के लिए, मजबूत करने के लिए या तकवीयत करने देने के लिए इकट्ठे होना चाहिए. Now we have to discuss the next part of our exercise, that is collective noun. On page number 21st of your textbooks, I hope so that you have opened your books side by side. It's grammar portion, and very first part is relevant to collective nouns. And before attempting this part of exercise, first you should make clear your concept about a collective noun. You know that noun is a naming word of person, place or thing, and then there are further types of nouns. For example, we have read in first lesson collective noun, concrete noun, and in this lesson we are going to discuss a collective noun. As its name is showing, collecting means होता है मजमूई. A collective noun is a word, एक ऐसा लफ्ज़ होता है used to name a group of people, animals or thing. Name of one person, one place, one animal, one idea, one quality, one emotion, one feelings. It is called noun. But a word that is used to name a group of people, group of animals or group of things, it is called collective noun. Now see examples of collective noun. If there is a group of students, we will give them a collective noun, a class of students. Class is a collective noun. If there is more than one case, then we will give them a collective noun, bunch of keys. And if there are more than one dog, there is a group of dogs, we will say a pack of dogs. Like this, if there are many cows, we will say a herd of cows. Herd is a collective noun. If there are birds more than one, there is a group of birds, we will say flock of birds. And if there are many flies, we will say a swarm of flies. So all these nouns, class, bunch, pack, herd, flock, swarm, are the collective nouns for the group of these animals or these things. One more thing about collective noun is that it is always used as singular. Whenever you will use collective noun in any sentence, you will use the verb according to singular subject. ठीक है, though it is a naming word for the group of people, places or things, but it is used as a singular subject. For example, you say that my class shows 100% result every year. You have add here s with first form of verb because class is working as a singular subject. My class always shows 100% result every year. So keep in your mind this point, that we will always use verb according to the singular subject with collective noun. Collective noun is always used as singular in form. Now see on screen your page number 21st of your textbook, and in grammar portion your part A is relevant to collective nouns. We are given some collective nouns and we have used it according to the group of things. For example, gang is a collective noun, crowd is a collective noun, committee is a collective noun, class, crew, audience, family. All these collective nouns are used for the special group of people. Now we have to decide that which collective noun will be used for which group of people. First statement is, it is typical for a Chinese dash to make 8 to 9 dishes for the New Year's Eve dinner. Now for Chinese, it is typical for a Chinese family. Understand, it is typical for a Chinese family to make 8 to 9 dishes for the New Year's Eve dinner. I hope so that you have opened your books with lead pencils in your hands and you will attempt this part of exercise side by side. You will write in very first blank family. See second statement, the dash applauded heartily at the end of the concert. The people, group of people who is present to enjoy a concert, it will be called audience. That's why in second blank you will write the audience applauded heartily at the end of the concert. Now see third one statement, the dash has just had a physics lesson. Now a group of people who attend lectures who attends lecture is called class. That's why in third statement you will use the class has just had a physics lesson. The class has just had a physics lesson. Now in statement number 4, the dash of robbers was arrested by the police. Now a group of robbers is called gang. That's why you will use here the gang of robbers was arrested by the police. In fourth blank you will write gang. Fifth one statement, a dash of people gathered at the accident site. Now the people who are gathered at any accident, they will be called crowd. A crowd of people gathered at the accident site. Now see statement number 6, the dash took many important decisions at its monthly meeting. The group of people who gather for a special cause and they have different meetings at different times, this group of people will be called committee. The committee took many important decisions at its monthly meeting. In sixth one blank you will write committee. See seventh and last statement of this part of exercise, the dash of Pakistan Air Force looked smart in their uniform. Now you will use here the crew of Pakistan Air Force. पाकिस्तान एयर फोर्स का अमला लुक स्मार्ट इन देयर यूनिफॉर्म, अपने यूनिफॉर्म में बहुत जो है वो स्मार्ट दिखाई दिया. दीज कलेक्टिव नाउन्स यू विल यूज अकॉर्डिंग टू द टाइप ऑफ द ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल. Now in English B we are going to discuss again today translation into English of Urdu paragraphs that are given in your grammar and compositions. Today we are going to discuss English translation of paragraph number 2 and 3. As I told you that for translating any Urdu paragraph into English you must know the vocabulary of that paragraph. It means that you must know the English word for every Urdu word that is given in that paragraph so that you may write your English sentences very easily. So I'm going to show you some important words of paragraph number 2. You may see the English for those words. लम्हात, moments. नशेबो फ्राज के लिए आप word use करेंगे ups and downs. Sorry, it is here downs, s with s. हिम्मत हारना, lose hope. ना उम्मीद होना, pessimist. A person who looks darkness everywhere, who has no hope is called pessimist. ख़त्म हो जाना, disappear. गायब हो जाना, ख़त्म हो जाना. हिम्मत, perseverance means हिम्मत. Instead means की बजाय या बल्कि. Manfully means मर्दाना वार. And bless means अता करना. These are the words you may find difficult in paragraph number 2 and you must prepare English words for these Urdu words. Now see the vocabulary for paragraph number 3. दरिया का किनारा, bank of river. गहरा के लिए deep English word will be used. चौड़ा, broad. जी भरकर, eat to his fill. में से चलता हुआ, wading through. घुस गया या दाखिल हो गया, entered. खाना शुरू हो गया, began to eat. मज़े से, with great delight. All these words you may find difficult in paragraph number 3. You must prepare its vocabulary. Then you may see on screen your paragraph number 2. It is given as जिंदगी के नशेबो फराज में ऐसे लम्हात भी आते हैं जब इंसान बिल्कुल ना उम्मीद हो जाता है. इसे हर तरफ अंधेरा ही अंधेरा नजर आता है. उसके मुकाबले की सकत ख़त्म हो जाती है. ये बात इंसान की अजमत के खिलाफ है. दुनिया में जितनी भी तरक्की हुई है वो इस अज़्म हिम्मत का नतीजा है जो कि अल्लाह ताला ने इंसान को अता फरमाई है. इंसान को चाहिए कि कभी हिम्मत ना हारे बल्कि मर्दाना वार नाकामियों का मुकाबला करे. अल्लाह ताला एक दिन ज़रूर कामयाबी अता करेगा. I told you that before translating any Urdu paragraph into English you have to take sentences one by one. You will identify the tense of the given sentence and then you will translate that sentence according to the rules of relevant tense. Now for example we see that जिंदगी के नशेबो फ्राज में ऐसे लम्हात भी आते हैं. ते हैं is showing that it is present indefinite tense. जब इंसान बिल्कुल नाउम्मीद नजर हो जाता है. ता है, इसे हर तरफ अंधेरा ही अंधेरा नजर आता है. अगेन ता है is there और उसके मुकाबले की सकत ख़त्म हो जाती है. These 4 sentences are relevant to present indefinite tense, and you will translate it according to present indefinite tense. And formation method for present indefinite tense is subject, then addition of first form of verb with singular subject, and then object. It is your paragraph number 3. You will read it very carefully. Now we will see translation of these paragraphs. First, we will see the translation of very second paragraph of your paragraphs. ज़िंदगी के लम्हात में, ज़िंदगी के नशेबो फराज में ऐसे लम्हात भी आते हैं जब इंसान बिल्कुल नाउम्मीद हो जाता है. Such moments occur. Now you may see such moments is plural subject and first form of verb is used here. Such moments occur in the ups and downs of life when a man totally loses his hope. Man is singular subjects, that's why we have added s with lose. When a man totally loses his hope. उसे हर तरफ अंधेरा ही अंधेरा नजर आता है, मतलब कि वो बिल्कुल नाउम्मीद हो जाता है. He becomes pessimist. S again addition of s with first form of verb because it is present indefinite tense. And his power of competition disappears. और उसके मुकाबले की सकत खत्म हो जाती है. T है again present indefinite tense is here. That's why we have added s with first form of verb. उसकी मुकाबले की सकत खत्म हो जाती है. ये बात इंसान की अजमत के खिलाफ है. Simple use of is here. It is against the dignity of man. Dignity होता है अजमत. Against means खिलाफ. It is against the dignity of man. दुनिया में जितनी भी तरक्की हुई है उस अज़्मो हिम्मत का नतीजा है जो अल्लाह ताला ने इंसान को अता की है. Now here is a present perfect tense. You will use has here and third form of verb. All the progress in the world is the result of the determination and perseverance. उस अज़्मो हिम्मत का नतीजा है. All the progress in the world, दुनिया की सारी तरक्की है, दुनिया में जितनी भी तरक्की हुई है उस अज़्मो हिम्मत का नतीजा है. Is will be used here. Is the result of the determination and perseverance that God has granted to man. जो इंसान अल्लाह ताला ने इंसान को अता की है. It is showing present perfect tense. इंसान को कभी हिम्मत नहीं हारनी चाहिए. ठीक है. We are telling that what a man should do. That's why we'll use should here. Man should never lose hope or lose heart. बल्कि मर्दानावार नाकामियों का मुकाबला करना चाहिए. इंस्टेड बल्कि ही शुड फेस फेलियर्स मैनफुली. एक दिन अल्लाह ताला उसे कामयाबी जरूर अता करेगा. God is showing it is future indefinite tense. That's why you will use will here with first form of verb. One day God will surely bless him with success. एक दिन अल्लाह ताला उसे यकीनन कामयाबी अता करेगा. Like this, my students, you will take every sentence separately, then you will identify the tense, and then you will apply the rules of tense, and then you will translate your Urdu sentence into English. And I hope so if you follow these instructions, you will be proved a good English translator. Now see the English translation of your paragraph number 3 that I have shown you before this. Now we will see its translation, that how would we translate this paragraph. First sentence of this paragraph is एक दफ़ा का जिक्र है कि एक गिदड़ एक दरिया के किनारे रहता था. It is showing that it is past indefinite tense. That's why you will use subject and second form of verb. And this full paragraph is in past tense. That's why you have to translate this paragraph according to past tense. Once एक दफ़ा का जिक्र है. Once का मतलब होता है एक दफ़ा का जिक्र है. A jackal lived on the bank of a river. Now you may say we have used second form of verb is here. A jackal lived on the bank of a river. दरिया के किनारे दूसरे किनारे पर खरबूजे के बहुत से दरख्त थे. When we talk about the presence of anything, we use there as an introductory subject, and the is showing that we have to use word here. So you will translate it like this. There were many melon fields. बहुत से खरबूजे के दरख्त थे. दूसरे किनारे की इंग्लिश क्या होगी? On the other bank of the river. If you don't know the English word for the दूसरे किनारे, you will not be able to translate it into English. That's why you have to prepare its vocabulary very well. दरिया गहरा और चौड़ा था. The river was deep and broad. Simple past tense है ये. The river was deep and broad. Use of was is here. गीदड़ जी भर कर खाना चाहता था. खरबूजे जी भर कर खाना चाहता था या जी भर के खाना चाहता था. Past indefinite tense, second form of verb will be used here. The jackal wanted to eat टू हिज फिल, ईट टू हिज फिल का मतलब जी भर के खाना। वो दरिया पार नहीं कर सकता था, टू शो एबिलिटी इन पास्ट टेंस, खुड इज यूज्ड ऑलवेज। ही खुड नॉट क्रॉस द रिवर, वो दरिया पार नहीं कर सकता था। अगर वो दरिया पार नहीं कर सकता है, एबिलिटी इज शोर्ट इन प्रेजेंट टेंस, देन वी यूज कैन। This is the difference between use of can and could, that can is always used in present tense and could is always used in past tense. He could not cross the river, वो दरिया पार नहीं कर सकता था। एक दिन उसने अपने दोस्त ऊंट से कहा, अगेन past indefinite tense, one day he said to his friend camel. Now inverted commas you will write the words of jackal. If you get me to the other bank of the river, अगर तुम मुझे दरिया के दूसरे किनारे ले जाओगे, I shall be thankful to you, तो मैं तुम्हारा शुक्रगुजार हूँगा। It is the first conditional tense. If two sentences are in future indefinite tense, we translate very first part of sentence in present indefinite tense, and second you will be translate according to future tense. That's why we have used here if you get, first form of verb, present indefinite tense. If you get me to the other bank of the river, I shall be thankful to you. The camel agreed. ऊंट रजामंद हो गया। Alif is the ending of this sentence and it is also past indefinite tense. That's why we have used here second verb form of verb here. Next sentence is ऊंट गिदड़ ऊंट की पीठ पर छलांग लगाकर चढ़ गया। Again past indefinite tense. The jackal jumped up onto the back of the camel. दरिया में से चलता हुआ, wading through the river, दरिया में से चलता हुआ। ऊंट दूसरे किनारे पर पहुंच गया। The camel reached the other bank. Again past indefinite tense. गिदड़ खरबूजों के खेत में घुस गया या दाखिल हो गया। The jackal entered the melon field. Again second form of verb is used here. And began to eat melon with great delight. और मजे से खरबूजे खाने लगा या खाना शुरू हो गया। Second form of verb is again here. Began to eat melons with great delight. Dear students, it was the vocabulary of your these two paragraphs, and then I showed you the Urdu of these paragraphs, and then we discussed the English translation of these two paragraphs. I hope so that you are very clear now about it, that how you have to translate any Urdu paragraph into English. Today your home task is that you have to learn your exercise question, answers and collective nouns concept. You have to make this concept very clear, and then you will solve the part of exercise relevant to collective nouns. And secondly, you have to prepare English of paragraph number 2 and 3. First you will learn the vocabulary, and then you will observe each and every sentence. You will identify the tenses, and then you will follow the rules of the relevant tenses, and you will translate your paragraph into English. Before leaving you, I would suggest you that prepare your lessons on daily basis and be regular in attending your lectures, and take good care of you. Allah Hafiz.